This is Dabu 7. You're looking at a massive warehouse fire that has erupted in Parkersburg, West Virginia. We have multiple units responding to this fire, and it is one they said that they had out as of yesterday, but as of this morning, it has spread. And we have officials back on the scene of this warehouse fire that's happening at People's Cartage Incorporated. This is on Camden Avenue. People are being told to shelter in place. Shelter in place extends from the area of Route 50 to Interstate 77 from Camden Avenue all the way down to 7th Street. They're saying this is very toxic air that's getting whipped about, and anyone downwind should be cautious. So if this is heading your way and you've got something sucking air into your home, you're going to want to make sure that it's being filtered, to use caution. They're saying that this started on Saturday about 11 a.m. when cardboard boxes caught fire. They fought the fire. And even if you go over and ask some of the grok or this and that, they're saying that it was out. It was put out, but it's not out. It was stopped, and now they're back because it fired back up and it's now spread. It's affecting 3 different warehouses. So this is the problem when you don't have a fire all the way out and don't make sure of it, it can fire back up, and apparently this is causing massive issues. So it's spreading at this point, involving 3 warehouses. They're fighting it, and just a heads up, I'll continue to update on...
Let's zoom out now. There have been significant ongoing attacks across the Middle East overnight as the conflict, sparked by the killing of Ayatollah Khamenei, shows no signs of easing. Explosions were heard across Tehran and other parts of Iran as Israel and the United States continue their airstrikes across the country. There were huge gatherings, however, in Tehran's Revolution Square to celebrate the new Ayatollah, Mojtaba Khamenei. Crowds filmed and they were chanting "Death to America" and "Death to Israel." Well, there you go. That's more of the same. Turkish officials say that NATO air defences intercepted a missile fired by Iran over southern Turkey. It's the second attack targeted towards Turkey, a NATO member. Israel is continuing to target Hezbollah strongholds in Beirut. The Lebanese Health Ministry says the death toll in the country stands at 486. Hezbollah claims it struck an Israeli army satellite station in central Israel. An Iranian strike in central Israel also killed 1 person. The UAE Defence Ministry announced that 2 of their armed forces were killed when their helicopter crashed due to a technical malfunction. And Bahrain halted oil shipments after the country's main oil refinery was struck by an Iranian drone, sparking a fire.
China and Russia are set to hold the naval exercise Joint Sea 2026 from the 6th of July to the 13th. The annual drill first took place in 2012. Since then, it has been hosted by both countries alternatively. This time, China is hosting Russian forces. The exercise will take place in China's port city, where it will unfold in 3 phases: force assembly, port site planning, and at-sea drills. Participating vessels have already arrived. The exercise will be conducted in the Yellow Sea, a body of water that separates China from the Korean Peninsula. Following the exercises, the 2 navies will conduct a joint patrol in the Pacific Ocean. According to China's Ministry of Defense, the exercise aims to jointly address security challenges and safeguard regional peace and stability. The 2 sides will conduct joint reconnaissance, air and missile defense, naval strike exercises. The Russian side has deployed a guided missile cruiser, submarine, and a rescue ship. The Chinese side is participating with guided missile destroyers, guided missile frigate, comprehensive supply ship, rescue vessel, and a submarine. Shipborne helicopters and marine units will also be deployed. Russia and China are deepening their military ties. Days before Russia launched the attack on Ukraine in February 2022, the Russian president and the Chinese president, remember, declared a no-limits partnership to counter Western influence and promote a multipolar world. Iran is holding funeral ceremony for Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. His mortal remains have been kept at Tehran's Grand Mosala, where millions of people have gathered to pay their final respects. Chants of death to America and Israel resounded, with red flags of vengeance covering the entire courtyard of the Grand Mosala. All the top personalities from the military to civilian leadership participated. Iran's parliament speaker, the IRGC commander, the Quds Force chief, the foreign minister, the president, the chief justice paid their final tributes to the late supreme leader. But one person remained missing. Iran's new supreme leader and Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's son did not appear in public. However, Khamenei's other three sons attended the service. Processions are planned through the capital on Monday. Authorities are expecting more than 10 million people to take part in the ceremonies in Tehran. According to a report by the New York Times, meanwhile, Iranian security officials rejected the new supreme leader's request to attend the burial of his father. They fear he could be tried to be attacked or Israel will try to kill him or track him back to his sanctuary. In fact, he has not been seen in any new image since being injured in the strike that killed his father. The leadership of Iran's axis of resistance also paid their tributes to Khamenei, these including Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthis, Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Different verses of the Quran were played for each delegation, but they carried the same sentiment: martyrdom, unbroken pledges to God and victory. For countries like Russia, China, India, verses about righteousness, reassurance and reward were played. The verse that was played for the Saudi Arabian delegation caught everyone's attention, it seems. The passage described the Battle of Badr, a symbolic message placing Iran on the side backed by God. From Tehran, Khamenei's remains are expected to be taken to Qom, Najaf and Karbala, the great Shiite centers of Iran and Iraq, before being laid to rest on Thursday in Mashhad, home to the country's holiest pilgrim shrine. The burials were meant to be conducted within a day of deaths in Islam, but because of the risks of holding a big funeral during the war, it was postponed until after last month's interim truce deal was agreed. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump has said that he was surprised to see the Iranians cry at the funeral of Khamenei in Tehran, saying that he believed that people hated him. Trump further said, I'm quoting, maybe they were fake tears.
It was crazy, and also with the July 4th traffic, the police couldn't get out. It was unbelievable. And now it's quiet like nothing ever happened. If you go by that scene, you see bikes, you see children's toys. It's horrible to walk by there. This can't happen again. Coney Island has to step up. We're one of the best places here in New York. It was never like this. I grew up in Coney Island. We knew everybody. We knew everyone. We have to take charge.
Earlier this week, we had a confirmed gang-related homicide that occurred on the same block. We are looking into whether there is a nexus between the two incidents.
It was crazy, and also with the July 4th traffic, the police couldn't get out. It was unbelievable. And now it's quiet like nothing ever happened. If you go by that scene, you see bikes, you see children's toys. It's horrible to walk by there. This can't happen again.
We are honored to have here tonight in the heart of our nation's capital one of the very first American flags ever to exist. Dating back to 1777, it bears the 13 stars and 13 stripes of the 13 states that declared independence on the 4th of July. There it is. This was the flag that flew victorious at Saratoga. And these are the real deals, too. These are the real flags. These are flags that have seen a lot. These were the stars and stripes that flew triumphant when the British waved the white flag of surrender at Yorktown. That was a big surrender. Nobody thought that was possible. They were the greatest power of the world, and they surrendered, and that was the beginning. Ever since, the entire world has been on notice that Americans will never let anyone take our freedom away. It won't happen. And all these talks from the communists, they haven't got a chance. Not even a chance. We don't want communists in our country.
I don't think that's supposed to be happening. There's like smoke coming out of it. I think something's definitely wrong. The fireworks are just like exploding from that one spot, like all of them.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please.
This safety announcement and the signs around the Great American State Fair were the first sign to all the thousands of guests here that the wind was going to pick up, that the rain was going to start falling, and that severe weather was on the way. I'm in it right now, and the thousands of people who were enjoying the fair were told and ushered by National Guard and the law enforcement here to go to the exits, find temporary shelter, and hopefully that the fair could re-begin when it is safe out. But right now, things are looking for the worst. Other East Coast events have decided to cancel their plans because of the severe weather this evening.